Aunties know best. Our tale begins somewhere just outside Atlanta, Georgia. Darcy Ellison wasn't broke, but she was always broke adjacent. She was the kind of woman who had enough coins to keep her nails fresh and her Wi-Fi strong, but not quite enough to fix the crooked cabinet in her kitchen or finally get that back taillight replaced. At 34, she'd mastered the art of the almost, a rising makeup influencer with a healthy follower count, but still holding down a part-time job at the local makeup counter to make ends meet. It was a Friday when she wandered into Second Time's The Charm, the thrift store she hit up whenever her creativity ran dry, or she needed to feel something, other than mildly annoyed with the algorithm. Just window shopping, she murmured, running a hand over a stack of scratched vinyls and chipped ceramic cats. That's when she saw it. Tucked between a garish sequined clutch and a busted jewelry box was a lamp. Not a fancy one, no Tiffany shade or sleek industrial curve, but a stout, brassy thing shaped like it belonged in a storybook. A genie lamp. Dusty, dented, irresistible. She smirked. Aladdin wishes he had my cheekbones. The cashier, a bearded man with too many nose rings and a name tag that said Slim Jim, rang it up for $4.44.
Magical number.
He said. Darcy raised an eyebrow. You just made that up.
Everything is made up, especially here.
Slim Jim winked. Back home in her cluttered townhouse, Darcy placed the lamp on her window bench. She snapped a few photos for Instagram, #vintage finds, #queen of the thrift. She spritzed it with a bit of eucalyptus cleaner and rubbed at a dull smudge. Then the room changed. Not dramatically, no thunderclap or windstorm. Just a ripple in the air. A scent of coconut oil, hot comb, and lemon pepper wings wafted in like it had been waiting. A whisper slid across her ear.
You sure you ready for this, baby girl?
Darcy blinked. Nah, I'm tripping. But when she turned around, nothing had changed. The lamp stayed silent. No blue genie, no puff of smoke, just the slow hum of her diffuser and the low hum of streetlights outside. She made herself a bowl of honey bunches of oats, still wearing her faux fur slippers, and climbed up onto the window seat, cradling her cereal. The night was quiet, save for the occasional distant siren. Her bench cushion, faded and firm, had always been her thinking spot, the place she retreated to when life felt too loud. She pulled the throw blanket over her lap and sighed. Beauty? Fame? Love? She whispered to no one. That's not too much to ask. As her eyelids fluttered and sleep pulled her in, she muttered, If somebody out there is listening, I'll take my wishes now. She didn't see the soft flicker of the lamp's spout or the slow creak of her hallway door. She just slipped into slumber, head resting against the window pane, unaware that tonight would rewrite her whole understanding of the word wish. The room grew cool. Not cold, but the kind of chill that rides in on a memory. One that had aromas like mothballs, hair grease, and a splash of soft perfume. Darcy stirred. A soft rustle caught her ear, like nylons brushing thighs like someone was walking around. When she opened her eyes, the streetlights outside had dimmed. Her TV was off, and standing at the foot of her window bench was a woman in a powder blue skirt suit, cat-eye glasses, and a hat tilted with the precision of a sermon. Darcy jolted upright. Excuse me, who are you and why are you in my house? You got 5 seconds before I call.
No, you don't.
The woman cut in, calmly removing her gloves finger by finger.
Ain't no seconds and dreams, baby girl. Only lessons.
Darcy blinked. Wait, I'm dreaming? The woman nodded, a knowing smile curving her lips.
That lamp done called me out of rest. I'm Aunt Clara. You don't know me, but I knew your daddy back when he was sneaking pecan pies out the church kitchen.
Darcy narrowed her eyes. Okay, so this is a dream. Got it. Aunt Clara walked over to the wall mirror above the credenza and tilted it slightly.
Darcy May,
she said, as if reciting it from a family Bible.
you wished for beauty.
And ain't nothing wrong with wanting to look good,
Oh, honey,
Clara chuckled.
looking good ain't never been the problem. Being seen as good, as worthy, as whole, that's where it gets tricky.
She motioned Darcy to follow. Darcy hesitated, then shrugged. I followed worse on TikTok. They stepped through the mirror like it was a curtain of smoke. Suddenly, they were on a porch in 1954 Mississippi. Clara looked younger now, bare-faced and fresh-pressed, sitting beside a darker-skinned friend as two boys with slick hair whispered and laughed from across the street.
They only noticed me
Clara said softly.
because my skin was lighter, because my nose was smaller. My cousin over there, she could outsing Aretha and fry catfish with her eyes closed, but they looked right past her.
Darcy watched. So what happened?
I let him choose me, thought it meant I was special. But the same ones who praised my pretty, they were the ones who told me to keep quiet when I spoke up. Too opinionated, too bossy, too loud for a pretty thing.
The scene shifted. Clara in her 20s now, crying alone in a fancy powder room while a man outside laughed with his friends.
He took me to parties, bought me dresses, but never once introduced me as anything more than a look at this fine little thing I picked up.
Darcy's face tightened. Okay, so beauty don't mean respect,
Exactly.
Aunt Clara said, looking her dead in the eye.
And the world will sell you the lie over and over if you're willing to buy it.
The mirror shimmered again, returning them to Darcy's townhouse. She stood near her own reflection, staring. I worked hard for this look, Darcy whispered. It's my brand, my power.
And ain't nobody saying don't be fine, baby. Be fine, fabulous, and fierce.
Aunt Clara said, adjusting her gloves.
Just don't mistake decoration for dignity. Don't let the mirror talk louder than your mouth.
She turned toward the lamp on the windowsill. The brass glowed faintly.
You got 2 more visitors, Darcy.
Aunt Clara said, slipping her purse onto her arm like a preacher wrapping up altar call.
Each got a story. You listen close.
Darcy watched her fade, hat, pearls, nylons, and all, into a breeze that smelled like talcum powder and hot cornbread. The house was quiet again, but Darcy sat up straighter, her hand unconsciously reaching to touch her reflection in the window pane. Decoration, she repeated. Or dignity. She didn't fall asleep again immediately. Not this time. An hour had passed and Darcy hadn't moved. Still wrapped in her throw blanket, still staring at the lamp like it owed her an explanation. Her reflection in the glass was dim now, like even her own face was waiting for what came next. Then, bam! The bass line of Tony Terry's With You exploded from nowhere, followed by a stage light flickering into existence in the center of her living room. Fog rolled in like someone left the back door open to the BET Awards, and then she heard it. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your girl, Tanya! A spotlight hit the hallway. Out strutted Aunt Tanya, in head-to-toe red sequins, heels clicking like snare drums, mic in hand, and lashes batting like backup dancers. Tanya? Darcy gawked. What in Tyler Perry stage play hell is going on? Aunt Tanya winked.
First of all, respect the sparkle. Second of all, hush. I'm mid-intro.
She twirled once for good measure, then pointed the mic like a wand. The living room morphed into a smoky lounge with velvet curtains and sticky floors. Darcy blinked. Wait, are we in a nightclub?
Girl, this is the Stardust Lounge, Decatur, Georgia, 1989. 2-drink minimum and a stage that's seen more tears than rehearsals.
On stage stood a younger version of Aunt Tanya. She was radiant, confident, singing like her lungs had secrets. And in the front row, a man in a silk suit with the smooth grin of a promise he had no intention of keeping.
That's me.
Aunt Tanya said softer now.
Right after I opened for Tony Terry. I was sure I was next. Had folks telling me I was gonna be the Black Celine Dion.
Darcy looked impressed. You sounded amazing. What happened? Tanya's smile faltered.
I chased applause like it owed me rent money. But applause don't hug you backstage. It don't equal satisfaction on a personal level. And it sure don't love you back when the calls stop coming.
The room shifted again. Tanya waiting at a payphone, makeup smeared. Then again, her singing back up at a wedding, swallowing pride between notes. Then again, her selling wigs at a flea market with a karaoke speaker next to her stand.
I got famous in 5 square miles.
Tanya said.
But fame with no plan, no contract, no team? Baby, that's just being well known at the gas station.
Darcy looked down. So, you regret it? Tanya shrugged.
Nah, I regret thinking that the shine was the same as the light. I regret letting other folks' claps drown out my own sense of self.
She turned, this time facing Darcy fully.
You wished for fame, but fame ain't just a spotlight, baby girl. It's a fire, and if you ain't careful, it'll burn through everything you got just to keep other folks warm.
Darcy felt that in her chest. Like one of those slow thuds of truth that don't knock, they settle. I just thought, if I went viral enough, if I got enough brand deals,
You'd finally be seen, heard, loved.
Tanya filled in, arms crossed.
Baby, the internet is a buffet of approval, but none of it fills you up.
The lounge faded. Her townhouse returned. Aunt Tanya stood in the middle of the room, pulling off her wig and setting it neatly on a phantom stand. Her edges were still laid like gospel.
I ain't saying don't want it. I'm saying don't build your life on applause. 'Cause fame fades, but regret lingers like cheap perfume.
Darcy opened her mouth to speak, but the lamp flickered again. Tanya smiled.
Time's up. One more guest coming through. And baby, she gon' hit you different.
Darcy reached out. Wait, Tanya, did I ever tell you that you inspired me, that your old videos made me start my own channel? Tanya paused. Then, for the first time, her eyes glistened.
You just did.
And with that, she was gone, sequin trail and all. Darcy sat back down, chest full, mind loud. She looked at the lamp again, almost afraid of what would come next. Love, she whispered. The last wish. And somewhere, in the quiet of her thoughts, a young voice giggled like spring. Darcy barely realized she had drifted off again. This time it was like easing into warm water. No fog machine, no glitter, no time warp. Just quiet. Then,
Ugh, this room is ugly.
Darcy's eyes flew open. There, sitting crisscrossed on the floor in front of her window bench, was a young woman, maybe 24, 25, wearing overalls, fuzzy socks, and a silk bonnet like a crown. She was scrolling through her phone with one hand and eating hot Cheetos with the other.
Seriously,
The girl said, sucking her fingers.
this color palette? Sad beige.
Darcy sat up. Okay, you are not another ghost. The girl raised an eyebrow.
I'm not from beyond. I'm Aunt Evelyn.
Come again?
I'm Evelyn. Technically, your cousin. Your cousin Tasha's baby girl. But in this moment, I'm your final guide. Don't question it. Just vibe.
Darcy blinked. So the lamp sent me a Gen Z family therapist with an attitude? Evelyn shrugged.
I contain multitudes.
She stood and casually walked around the room, touching framed photos and books on Darcy's shelf.
You wished for love.
Evelyn said, suddenly serious.
Big word. Gets thrown around a lot. But you didn't want it like a garden. You wanted it like a vending machine.
Darcy frowned. What does that even mean?
You wanted it to show up. Hot. Ready. Paid for with the exact change of your looks and your hustle. But real love, it ain't transactional. It's transformational.
The room dimmed. Darcy found herself sitting on a front porch, warm Georgia sun washing over everything. She could smell collard greens and baby lotion. A young mother, bare-faced, worn down but smiling, was rocking a toddler on her lap.
That's my mom.
Evelyn said softly.
Right after my daddy left. He loved her when it was easy, when she looked like the girls in the music videos. But when life hit, he dipped.
Darcy watched her cousin hum to her child.
She didn't give up on love.
Evelyn whispered.
She became it. Every bedtime, every back-to-school night. Every time she let me fall apart in her arms and still told me I was enough.
Darcy swallowed hard. That's beautiful and sad.
It's real,
Evelyn said, turning to her.
Love is an act, not a label. It's forgiveness with boundaries. It's sacrifice without keeping score. It's not filtered, not always fun. But when it's true, it builds you.
The scene shifted again. Darcy saw herself, crying silently in a bathroom after a breakup, scrolling through DMs hoping one would hit different, swiping past potential just because it didn't come in her preferred packaging. Evelyn stood beside her.
You don't want love, Darcy. You want safety dressed as attention. You want validation that can't be revoked.
Darcy looked away.
I just don't want to feel invisible. Then stop dimming to be seen.
Evelyn said, voice gentler now.
You keep wishing for love, but you forget. You are somebody's wish too. But only if you show up as your whole damn self.
Darcy's throat tightened. Her heart beat like a drumline. Evelyn smiled.
No shade. But if I had your platform, your voice, I'd use it to build love, not wait for it. Legacy over likes, boo.
A warmth filled the room again. The house came back into view, sun rising outside the window now. Morning. Darcy sat upright on the window bench, alone. No fog, no sparkle, no music. Just her, and the lamp. She reached for it slowly, ran her fingers over the spout. I don't want the wishes anymore, she said aloud. Not like that. She stood, stretched, and looked in the mirror. Her reflection was familiar. Not filtered, not flawless. Just her. But something inside had shifted. She opened her laptop. New post. No makeup. No edits. Caption, not everything that glitters is the goal. This morning I woke up different. This isn't a thirst trap. It's a footprint. I'm building something real now. Stay if you want. Unfollow if you need. Hashtag legacy in progress. Hashtag no wishes needed. She hit post, and somewhere 3 women sipped sweet tea and nodded in agreement.